How important is our liver in all of this?
Oh, it's the most important.
Really?
Outside the brain. Brain, gut, liver, keep those healthy. Like, keep those really healthy. So liver breaks down hormones. So you need it to break down hormones like thyroid hormone. Let's use thyroid, for example. The brain sends a signal to the thyroid to make TSH, goes to the thyroid, tells the thyroid to make T4.
What's that?
So T4 is a thyroid version of a thyroid hormone. The 4 stands for how many iodine sites it has. T4 is unusable to the cell. So what T4 has to do is it has to go on to the liver and the gut where those two organs conjugate it, convert it, change it into something called T3. T3 is now usable to your cells, and T3 goes into the cell and activates the metabolism and everything the thyroid's supposed to do. If I have poor thyroid health, if my gut is off because I've been on too many antibiotics or birth control, what may end up happening is my thyroid's working fine, my brain's working fine, but it's not converting into a usable format for my cells.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an example of where a stagnant liver, a liver that's struggling, not healthy, can actually affect how a hormone manifests in your body.
Mm-hmm. So how do I know if my liver's healthy? Is there any symptoms of an unhealthy or toxic liver?
Well, let's go through possibilities. I call them checklists. Okay. And the reason I call them checklists is because they may not apply to everybody. The first question to ask if your liver is healthy is, when you go without food, do you make a ketone?
Okay.
If you don't make a ketone, and you're like, we've had people that are like 20 hours in, 36 hours in, 48 hours in. They're like, I'm still not making a ketone.
How do they know?
Because we have them testing.
Okay.
So a little ketone, the continuous glucose monitors, they'll help the blood sugar, but you need a ketone reader to help ketones. It's like a little, you prick your finger. Have you ever used one?
No, that's so interesting. I didn't know there was even a thing.
Oh, yeah, you should get one. So you get a little monitor.
Yeah.
And you prick your finger. And then you put your blood on this little strip and you put the strip into this little monitor and it tells you how many ketones you have.
Okay, so more ketones, the better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So if you can't make ketones or you're starving would be another, or you're, after a long period, you're not feeling the benefits of fasting, that could be because of your liver. So we now have, okay, that's liver issue number 1. Okay. Then we can go to things like, how do you process alcohol? Like, you know how there's certain people who, like, you go out to drink with them, and after a couple drinks, they're dancing on the table, and then there's other people that, like, can drink the whole bar, and they seem like they're completely normal compared to when they walked in.
Yeah.
So that's liver function. Like, how quickly is that liver metabolizing that alcohol?
Which one is healthy, sorry?
Well, I actually think metabolizing it quickly is better than the stagnant person.
So the person that's hammered,
yeah,
is going to be
yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, there's a lot of nuance in that comment. So just so we don't get the whole world coming after you or I on that. So, so it's how quickly are you able to metabolize a toxin in your system and get it out of you. So that would be another one. Then we have some really, really good ones, really like applicable ones. Like, this is based off some old ancient strategies, like corner of your eye. If the inside of your eye is yellow, according to iridology, which is the study of the eye as it relates to health, when the corner of the eye is yellow, that can be a sign of liver stagnation. Okay, another one.
The inside corner.
Yeah.
So next to your nose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Another one, you can look at the bottom of your feet. So bottom of your feet, when they're dry and cracking, is showing that you're not getting proper circulation down to your feet. And so it can be a possibility that the liver is not doing a good job of detoxing and getting toxins out. So your circulatory system has more sludge in it. So the circulation isn't freely getting down to the bottom of your feet.
Have you ever asked someone to show you their feet?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Feet, eyes, I want to know everything because it tells you. Feet, eyes, I want to know what your menstrual blood, I don't need to see it, but I want to know, is it clumpy? How quickly does the flow come out? these kind of things are so important. How quickly your hair grows, how quickly your nails grow, what's on your nails. Are nails on ridges on your nails? Because that could be minerals. Like, our body gives us a full analysis of what's going on. So I have looked at a lot of feet.
And if I look at my feet now, never just want to take a quick look because I can't remember really looking at the bottom of my feet. What is a sign that my liver is not healthy? Looking at the bottom of my feet,
It's the real dry cracks.
Oh no, mine is soft like a baby's bottom.
There you go. Do you want to put it up on the table so I can see?
No,
it?
because people will sell pictures.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God.
Part of the revenue if that happens. So
Yes. Oh
I'm
my
gonna make
God.
that decision
You're
myself.
so accurate.
Okay, interesting.
So here's a couple. Let's give people a daily routine of what to look at to be able to see like how your body's functioning. So when I get up in the morning, that's one thing I do. I always look I'm periodically, throughout the day looking in the corner of my eyes. Like what is there a yellow tinge in there? So I look at that. I also look at my tongue every morning when I wake up. Do you look at your tongue?
Not really.
Okay. So when you look at your tongue, does it have a white coat on it? If it has a white coat on it, that can be a sign of candida, of too much yeast in your system and your body's detoxing it. You can also look at your tongue when you fast. Sometimes it'll go black. And that's like candida coming out. That's yeast coming out. So make sure you're looking at your tongue. Every morning I look at my tongue. So, because at night, you kind of see what's detoxing out of you.
So if it's white, what do I do? If it's black, what do I do?
So if it's white and black, you have candida. That's a sign of too much yeast in the system. So, I mean, fasting can help. Getting off sugar, alcohol, fruits can help. We just find people who fast, especially if you go into longer fasts, it'll start to change. We've even done some interesting community fasts where we have people watch their fast and they decide to break their fast based off what their tongue is doing. So if it's white and it's black and it's getting worse, keep going. If you can keep going until it starts to turn pink. And then the outside of the tongue will actually start to turn pink. And then we know, okay, the yeast is starting to die off. Go ahead and break your fast.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way that you can look at the tongue. We already talked about the bottom of the feet, periodically looking at that, your hair and your nails. So do you ever look at like the ridges of your nails?
No.
Okay, so when there's a lot of ridges in your nails or how quickly your nails are growing, that can be a sign of mineral deficiency.
Okay.
If your hair is falling out.
So on the nails then, what am I looking for? There's no ridges in my nails.
Perfect. So you probably have a good mineral load.
Okay.
But if you ever look down and you see those ridges, it can be a sign that you have too many low minerals.
And what kind of minerals would you then supplement with or focus on?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan right now of organic minerals that come from the earth, like fulvic and humic acid type minerals that are coming from like volcanic ash, because they're very, very rich in minerals that we're not getting in your typical mineral supplement or your food. You know the whole thing about conventional farming and how it's depleting the minerals in our soils, right?
No.
I feel like this is going to get really depressing really quick.
That's fine.
You want me to tell?
I'd rather know the truth.
Okay. So the soils that are being monocropped, where they're being tilled over and over again, not from regenerative farms, what we know now is that they are deficient in minerals. So the way that it's being expressed to people is the broccoli you have now has less vitamin and mineral content than the broccoli you had 10, 20, 30 years ago because of how the farmers are taking care of the soil.
Mm.
Now, you go to a regenerative farm where there's bugs, there's weeds, they don't spray. When a crop grows, they let it die, they don't till. That has more minerals. So when you are actually eating food from regenerative farms, you're getting the minerals that you need into your system. So when people look at their nails not growing, they look at the ridges, a good question if you don't want to take a mineral supplement is ask yourself, am I eating foods from a regenerative farm? Am I eating fruits and vegetables from the farmer? Do I know the farmer even?
Sounds expensive.
Right. Yeah. Can you see why I like fasting?
But if I fast, I'm still not getting the minerals.
Right. I know, but all of these problems that we're addressing in order to eat healthy is expensive. So I'll come back to that comment in a second because that's a good one to address. Let's use the typical person. They're eating everything we've talked about. They're eating all the obesogens. They're gaining weight. Their toxic load is high. They're not getting enough vitamins. They're not getting enough minerals. Their hair is falling out. A woman's menstrual cycle is off. Their skin is changing. Weird stuff is showing up. For that person, if all I do is say, hey, I want you to eat your fruits and vegetables from a regenerative farm, now, okay, we're adding some minerals back in. So we're starting to get some of the nutrients that person was supposed to be getting, but was actually getting all those toxins were depleting that person's system. So we start to get them eating fruits and vegetables from a regenerative farm. Now they're getting the nutrients they need that are being depleted by these chemicals. Okay, so that's why in that context, just eating good, healthy fruits and vegetables is important. But what if we put them in a fasted state? Let's take that person one step further. They're metabolically challenged. They're full of toxins. Let's put that each day, let's start to tack on a fasting window. In that fasting window, we're starting to see glucose come down. We're starting to see the body repair and heal itself. Okay, now when they open up their eating window, we can have them add in minerals, so we can have them added in, or they can still eat more fruits and vegetables from regenerative farms, but they have to prioritize minerals. In our community, we actually will have people add in minerals in the fasted window. Like take a mineral supplement, take an electrolyte supplement, put it in your fasting window so you're adding that support in.
And when you say minerals, what exactly are you referring to?
Well, there's a lot of different ones, right? So magnesium, zinc, selenium.
Okay.
Those are the biggies.
Okay. And it's expensive, so can I just supplement it?
Right.
Because that's cheaper.
Right. So the reason I like the fasting window is because we're changing the metabolic system.
Mm-hmm.
And now we go into the eating window. Let's just at least start with fruits and vegetables coming from regenerative farms if you don't want to spend money on supplements. If you have the resources to spend money on supplements, go ahead and do that.
And is there anything else that I should be looking for as a sort of marker of or a signal of my overall health? We said the eyes, we said the feet, we said the nails, the hair, the skin.
How quickly your hair grows, the quality of your hair. Like, is it always have the same moisture and texture?
What's your view on alcohol?
Ooh, this is a good one. There's never a moment where alcohol is a health food. Let's just be clear on that. So I think the research on alcohol and brain health needs to be honored. Dr. Amen, I know he's been on your podcast and he has been very clear on that stance. A lot of people have. Not great for brain health. Not great for liver health, because when there's alcohol in your liver, then you're now shutting down your liver's ability to burn fat and to detox and do all the other things. All it's doing is taking care of the alcohol toxin. So not great for both of those.
Hormones?
Not great for hormones, because you need your liver to break down estrogen. So and all the other ones, but specifically, so hot flashes, very common to see hot flashes go up when women have a glass of wine or not. So that's the downside. What's the upside?
There's an upside?
Well, I'm gonna throw it out as I'm gonna be careful I say this, because I know people are gonna take my words and try to make them absolutes. When you're drinking a lower alcohol, that is clean alcohol, like a wine that hasn't been sprayed with pesticides, that doesn't have a lot of toxins, doesn't have a ton of added sugars in it, then you are now putting somebody into a temporary lower cortisol state. So you're bringing down their glucose, you're calming them down if they've been wound up from the day. And so they're a little more in a relaxed state, and they might be a little more social. Every once in a while, I'm not talking every day. Every once in a while, you splash a glass of wine into your life. You have a connection, a glass. I'm not talking a lot. You have a deeper connection because you're more relaxed. What happens when we're connecting with others?
Oxytocin.
That's right. You're bringing oxytocin up. Now, I really want people to hear me through on this one because I know my words will get very twisted on this one. I want to be really clear. In this scenario, you've taken somebody who might have been very stressed out, had a really horrible day. They were not looking to connect with their spouse. They couldn't connect because their brain is like looping. You give them a glass of wine on that one part of the day, at the end of the day, and all of a sudden they're in a little more relaxed state and they're more in a place where they want to connect. And so oxytocin now goes up.
And then the problem, I guess, is the next day they go to work, they have another shit day, they come home, they drink the wine again.
The problem is that.
Yeah. If you could isolate it and not cause this sort of addiction cycle, then in isolation, it could, but yeah.
I mean, I really, the nuance on that is so important because people will literally come after me and say, I said alcohol is a health food. I'm not saying that. In the example that I just gave, where do we leave room for human connection? How do we get out of this drive, overproduction, so stressed out I can't connect with people? Where is health in that?
Breath work?
Yeah, if they'll do breath, there's a lot of other things. You're right. There's a lot of other things. So I want to but let's put it in this context because it needs to live in a scenario that we do. You go out with friends, you eat good food, you have a glass of wine, you're enjoying each other, you're enjoying life. Is that dangerous?
Would the world be a better place if alcohol didn't exist?
Well, I think a lot of people would say yes. I mean, people who have dealt with alcoholics would definitely say yes.
Because I feel like we would have just found a different way to connect. Maybe. You know, this idea that alcohol helps us to connect is probably because of the way we've designed the world. Like bars, restaurants, pubs, all those kinds of things. And I feel like if we'd never discovered the invention, we would have just found another way. You go to other parts of the world where they don't really drink, they do kind of have another way. Like I was in Bali and they do these like ecstatic dances where it's like, have you ever seen one of these things? It's daytime. They have the music blaring and everyone is just going absolutely crazy. They're like dancing as if they're all absolutely hammered. And they're doing it in daytime. And then they're, when I look at it, I go, absolutely never. I'm never doing it. But my partner does it all the time. And I go, and I look at these people and I go, do you not realize that you look weird? And I'm saying that through the lens of this social construct I have that behavior is not normal or acceptable.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's literally like people are going wild in daytime to music together in a room.
And they have to be feeling amazing.
They must feel amazing.
Yeah.
So connected, so free. Right. But it's just weird over here. No, I mean, ecstatic dancing is a thing over here. In fact, it happens upstairs in the studio.
Okay.
But it's not something
so that's oxytocin.
Of course, yeah.
So maybe we should frame all of this under what's going to give you oxytocin. We need to do more oxytocin-rich activities so that we can make sure we keep human connection up because human connection is so incredibly important. And so if ecstatic dance is your thing, great. You know, again, to your point, like the glass of wine every once in a while might put you in that mood to be able to connect in all of these ways. So that might be a tool, but not every day. So, but we have to bring back this idea, oxytocin is the most powerful hormone on the planet. So when we're sitting at home and we're isolating ourselves and we are in disconnection and we're pointing fingers and we're yelling at each other, like we're raising cortisol, we're not raising oxytocin. But if you bring oxytocin up, as soon as oxytocin comes in, cortisol goes down. One of my recommendations to menopausal women that aren't sleeping is start petting your dog. Like just pet your dog before you go to bed because that's going to give you oxytocin. It's going to bring the cortisol down from the day and is going to put you in a more relaxed state so you can get yourself into bed. If you don't have a dog, hug somebody. But we have to look at oxytocin as a healing hormone. And what we're talking about is this end of the day. And what I think happens is we go produce, and then, okay, now I'm done. And then we go and maybe pop on social media. And then we're like, oh my God, that person doesn't think like I think, or this person's saying something wrong. And we just keep amping up our cortisol. If we go back to you asked me about my daily routine, I feel like the morning should be oxytocin filled. You can let your day be cortisol filled if that feels right to you. And then when you end the day, bring oxytocin back in. How are you going to do that is personal to you.
If you love the Diary of a CEO brand and you watch this channel, please do me a huge favor. Become part of the 15% of the viewers on this channel that have hit the subscribe button. It helps us tremendously, and the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the guests.